check, final check. Here we go. Good Monday evening to you. Glad to have you along this evening on WLA TV. Jordan King with you. It's the Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings hosting the Ripon Tigers, and coming off a huge win on Friday night, the WLA Vikings welcome a non-conference opponent out of the East Central Conference, and that's where Ripon comes from. East Central, we'll get into that a little bit later. Ripon so far this season, not the best season for the Tigers, but they're dangerous enough to come in here and beat the Vikings. And I think at the end of this, if there's one takeaway from the pregame talk, that is would be what it is. This is not Laconia. This is not one of the top teams. This is not Kewaskum. This is not Fox Valley Lutheran. But this team could end up being the fourth loss of the season for the Vikings if they don't take them seriously coming up here tonight. Ripon 8-12 on the season, averaging just 48.4 points per game. Ripon does not score the basketball very well. However, in games that they have won, they've been able to get it done on the defensive side of the floor. So if the Vikings can't score it, that's obviously a recipe for a potential Ripon win. A couple weeks ago, Kewaskum needed 2 threes in the last 30 seconds, 6 points in the last 30 seconds to knock off the Tigers at home, albeit without one of their best players, Matty Doggs, but the Kewaskum Indians without Doggs able to beat the Vikings at home as well. So WLA's got to be careful here going up against a Ripon team that is 8-12 on the season, just 1-8 in the East Central Conference. You look at some of the common opponents for Ripon, and they destroyed Mayville. They destroyed Campbellsport. Kind of a small win over Ripon, or over Marquezan, just an 8-point win over Marquezan. WLA beat them handily. They've lost both times to Kewaskum. WLA lost to Kewaskum. And then you look at some of the recent ones. They lose to Lamira by 15. Well, obviously that would make WLA feel very good going into this game. But then just a couple of weeks ago on January 24th, they get a win by 5 points over Omro at Omro, and that's a team that obviously WLA knows is quality in the Flyweight Conference. So when you look up and down, inconsistency, obviously springs to mind here for the Ripon Tigers, but when they are on, they can compete with some pretty good teams, and that's what WLA's got to contend with. WLA on Friday night, big win for them. They were able to somehow, some way, 4-point victory, knock off the Laconia Spartans and knot things up at the top of the Flyweight Conference. Both teams now 10-1 in the Flyweight Conference. Omro 8-3 in second. Springs is 6-5 in fourth place. Tie for fifth is North Fondy and Lamira 4-7. Mayville sits in seventh at 2-9 in eighth place. Campbellsport's really struggled this season, and they're 0-11 in the conference season. WLA comes into this evening's game, all told, 16-3 on the season, 58-54 last time out over Laconia, as we mentioned. 64.1 points per game for the Vikings, and they have 3 of the top 4 scorers in the Flyweight Conference in Kira Shea, Lindsay Nell, and Abby Cole. Shea at 17.3, Nell at 16.9, and Abby Cole at 14.6 points per game. Siri Kuski just slipped under 6 for the first time this season, or slipped under 5 for the first time this season. She's had a nice year after bouncing back from a knee injury halfway through the campaign. Avery Supernan, Leah Tyson, that rounds out a top 6 for the Vikings from a scoring standpoint, and that all adds up to the 64.1 that they average. So they average nearly 20 points more than Ripon does on a per-game basis. They have a much healthier record than the Tigers do, but all of this to say that WLA could kind of end up with the proverbial egg on the face if you don't come to play here tonight. It's a trap game for WLA. Coming up on Thursday is the third place Omro Foxes at home. That's a game that if WLA wants last Friday to mean anything, they have to win. They obviously have to win out for conference. Laconia plays the bottom 3 teams in the conference the rest of the way. They have Campbellsport, Lamira, and Mayville on their schedule. So you know Laconia is going to win out, barring any unforeseeable circumstances. So the Vikings obviously have to take care of their business. That starts on Thursday. This is a trap game, simply being coming off a high-octane, high-energy, emotionally draining game on Friday night that you win by 4 over rivals and the number 2 team in the state. You have the weekend. You don't have school today, a virtual day for the Vikings. So you have that. Is the body clock right here for a game that is very important when it comes to postseason seedings? WLA, maybe you've put yourself in the position to be a 2 seed now. Maybe you've put yourself in the position to be at least a 3 seed. Drop games like this, and now that Laconia game ends up earlier in the postseason than maybe you would have liked. Big game coming up here tonight. WLA's got to play well in order to hold off the Tigers. That comes up next. We'll have Anthem and Starters coming up in about 4 minutes on WLA TV. Hope you'll stay with us here tonight.
Winnebago Lutheran Academy welcomes you to this evening's non-conference basketball game. between the Ripon Tigers and the Vikings of Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Winnebago Lutheran Academy, Ripon High School, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship and education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem. It's time to meet the starting lineups for this evening's game. First, for the Tigers, a junior, number 3, Irene Brooks. A senior, number 4, Allie Bumby. A senior, number 12, Bella Miller. A junior, number 21, Ellie Ross. And a junior, number 23, Carson Bauman. The Tigers are coached by Jesse Noda.
There you go, starters for the Tigers. We'll get back to them in just a second. About to meet the starters for the Vikings. Here is the roster for this 2022-2023 Vikings.
Evelyn Davies, Faith Lutheran.
Anna Truman, St. John Samara.
Leah Tyson, Faith Lutheran.
McKenna Conkey, Redeemer.
Abby Cole, Faith Lutheran.
Lindsay Nell, Redeemer. Avery Superdan, Faith Lutheran.
Siri Kuski, St. John Samara.
Audrey Schumacher, St. Paul's Mount Calvary.
Kira Shea, St. Paul's Mount Calvary.
Those are the Vikings this season. Introduce you to the starters in just a second, but first for the Tigers. Number 3, junior Ari Brooks. Number 4 is a senior Allie Bumby. Number 12 is a senior Bella Miller. 21 is Ellery Rost. She's a junior. And the final junior is number 23 Carson Bauman. Those the starters for the Tigers. For the Vikings, remains unchanged from the last, month or so, and certainly the same from Friday. Kira Shea, Lindsay Nell, Siri Kuski, Leah Tyson, Abby Cole. 3 juniors, 2 seniors for the Vikings. 2 Shea, 5 Nell, 10 Kuski, 13 Tyson, 22 Cole. For the Tigers, 3 Brooks, 4 Bumby, 12 Miller, 21 Rost, and 23 Bauman. And the Tigers win the tip, and they'll have the first possession of the night here. And go straight down underneath to Bumby. Bumby up against Cole, finds Brooks there, and Brooks comes up a little bit off on the shot. Offensive rebound, back down to Bumby, spins once, and almost finished at the rim. Rebound on the far side to Nell, and Lindsay's going to run the point for the Vikings. Crosses over, middle of the paint, kicks it out. Abby Cole, top of the key, 3, good. Abby Cole gets it started from 3. She just saw her average there dip at or below 20%. I'd have to double check my numbers there, but Abby was getting close to the 20% mark, and that is going to change. I just keep saying it. It's going to change down the stretch. Here goes Nell after the steal. Up with the right hand, fouled 2 shots for the Vikings as Nell was out in transition. So an early 3-0 lead for the Vikings, and Cole scoring the first bucket. The free throw story was a big one on Friday night. The Vikings shooting 19 of 22 from the line, which is well above their season average. Almost just about everyone on the team is right around 50 to 60%, and a big part of that was Lindsay Nell. She got to the line a dozen times, made 10 of them, en route to a 28-point performance. She's one of the Wisp Sports Players of the Week that you can vote for. So if you want to go on to Wisp Sports, encourage you to do so. And there's obviously 5 very deserving people on that list, but Lindsay averaged 25 points this past week and obviously would be well deserving of a vote. She gets the outlet pass straight up ahead to Kira Shea, and the Vikings have a 7-0 lead. Good start for the Vikings. No sleepwalking as of yet. See if they can continue to build this lead out. 16:37 to go in the first half. And far side offense initiated with Bella Miller. Back to Bumby, and she hit the triple. Allie Bumby's third shot of the night. She had a couple of layups she couldn't get to go, but she hits the 3. Got the Vikings lead back down to 4. Nell's got it in the corner. Top of the key between the circles. Kuski looks far side to Tyson, down to the corner with Kira Shea. Shea back to Nell. Nell drives right side, down to the corner. Good patience for the Vikings as they swing it back around to the left, and that's Kuski looking into Cole, instead taken by Tyson. Lindsay's got it now top of the key. Drug the pivot foot, a little too quick there, and it's going to be Ripon basketball. Nice defensive possession that time for the Tigers. And they'll have another offensive possession with Carson Bauman, looking to the near side, goes back top of the key, Ross. This is Bella Miller, down to the corner with Bauman once again. She's guarded by Kira Shea. That should tell you that Bauman is probably thought to be the best offensive threat. That's usually how things go for the Vikings. Here goes Bumby, and she can't get it to go. Foul on the rebound. Yeah, I think they're going to get Ari Brooks fouling Lindsay Nell. Certainly early on, it looks like the Tigers want to run everything through Allie Bumby. First team foul for the Tigers. Actually, I believe that should be the second team foul. They have 1 team foul apiece. I think the Vikings have 0, and the Tigers have 2. See if they fix that. Here's Kira Shea. Long 2 on the way, and it's good. Kira's got the jump shot working, and the Vikings have things working offensively. 9-3 here early on, as they've gotten just about everything they've wanted, just the 1 turnover early on. And nice job by Ross that time to keep the pivot foot, not drag it, and get the travel call. Bumby's got it here. Back out top of the key. And a pass fired into Brooks, stolen by Nell. She leads the team in steals, or right thereabouts. She's probably right back above Kira. They've gone back and forth as to who's leading the team in steals this season. Here is Shea. Bounce pass down to Nell, who's cutting to the hoop down the left side of the lane and finishes at the rim. It's going to force a timeout for the Ripon Tigers and Coach Nodolf. Just a 30-second timeout, I do believe. So we'll keep it right here. 11-3, good start here early on. The big 3 for the Vikings. Abby Cole, Lindsay Nell, Kira Shea. 4 for Shea, 4 for Nell, 3 for Cole. Cole got things going with the 3, and then back and forth between Nell and Shea for the next 8 points. 11-3 on the scoreboard, 14:31 to play. It's Junior Vikes night, by the way. They're going to honor them at halftime, so stick around for that if you to honor those players and coaches who give of their time and talents to make sure the health and wellness of the WLA girls basketball program, and really the WLA basketball program at large, remains a healthy one. Here on the near side, Bella Miller working against Leah Tyson. Tyson usually draws the second leading scorer assignment, at least if it's a guard. Here down the lane, up with the right hand, can't get it to go. Bauman, offensive rebound, kick back out to Bauman. Short corner, no good. Offensive rebound yet again, and Bauman's got it once more. Down to the corner, Rost wants a three, and she hit it. 2 threes already for Ripon, and I think that was kind of a case when they play teams tough, they play good defense, and they're able to hit shots. They're now in a 2-3 zone. Down the lane goes Lindsay Nell. Can't get it to go. And Bumby clears out with the rebound. She's going to run point here on the break. Far side, Bella Miller. Spins past Kuski. Now caught in the corner. Shovels it back out. This is Bauman. Brooks cut through. Ball movement. Ends up with Bumby. Top of the key. Bounces down to Miller. Back off of Miller's leg and a travel. No, going to get a foul. Ooh, did not see that as a foul, but see who they whistle it on. Siri Kuski picks up the first team foul, and the first foul for the Vikings senior guard. Addie Nodolf and Bryn Carlson come into the game. A couple of sophomores onto the floor for the Tigers, and just going to have to lob it in there to Bauman. High post, Bumby back to Bauman, and Kira Shea blocked her. Good hands from Shea. And she's going to pull it out and initiate an offense here. Bounce pass from Nell is dangerous. Cole couldn't collect. Nell tried to recollect. It's stolen by Brooks. And Brooks is into the front court. Bounces down to Bumby. Bumby working against Cole. Out to Brooks. 3 on the way. And it gets wedged in there. Jump ball. Been a while since I've seen that now. That's good stuff. And it's really wedged in there. 1, 2, 3 attempts to get it out. All right, arrows pointed to the Vikings, so they will profit from the shot that came up just short and a little off to the left for Ari Brooks. And Shea will walk it into the front court. Avery Supernand just came onto the floor, by the way, along with Audrey Schumacher, who has the basketball, almost traveled. Hands off to Abby Cole. Cole down the left side of the paint, up with the left hand and finishes. She's got 5. That was nice patience by Cole to dribble around the first defender and then just kind of fake it like she was going to kick it out, and it got her to the hoop. A little hesitation dribble. This is Brooks. Bounces down to Bumby, turns and looks, faces against Abby Cole, going to drive against Abby. Bounce pass to the corner, 3 ball on the way, comes up short. Good box out by Avery Supernan. That was Carlson who came up short. Supernan wants to go all the way. Looked like she was trying to curl a pass to Shea in the corner. It got knocked out of her hands and touched off of her fingertips last. It's a good take by Avery. She jumped in the air, though. Like to see just the jump stop there and fire the pass to the corner. Or, Avery's had that runner in the lane, the little floater working over the past 2 weeks or so. I wouldn't mind seeing that in transition. Here goes Bauman, can't get it to go. Rebound down to Lindsay Nell. Strong play from Nell to spin out of the contact, and she's headed back the other way. Spins down the lane and tied up. Good hands. That time it was Nodolf, and the jump ball sends it back to the Tigers. Great hands as Abby Cole gets an early break here. McKenna Conkey onto the floor. And Rost comes back into the game. Bauman's going to take a seat. This is Nodolf. Excuse me. She spins against Audrey Schumacher. Comes to the near side. Carlson's got it now. Back out to Miller, top of the key. Far side, Rost. Carlson's free on the near side. They're going to go back to her on the wing. They're trying to get the ball into Bella Miller. She's working against McKenna Conkey, but McKenna's doing a nice job to be physical with her. They get it into Miller. She scoops it up, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, Bumby, and she's fouled on the floor. So the Vikings have not done a terrific job on the offense or on the defensive glass here. I don't know what the final tally was, as Conkey and Miller are going at it down there on the block. Nice physical contest happening between those two players. Carlson's got it in the corner. Not sure what the final tally was, but the Vikings grossly out-rebounded the Spartans on Friday night, Laconia. And it was a big part of that game, no doubt about that. Nice strong rebound here on the defensive side from Avery Supernam. Poked out by Miller, and it should stay with the Vikings. It will. That's a couple of really good blockouts and rebounds from Avery Supernand. 13-6 lead for the Vikings, and Shea trots into the front court. Off of a double screen, kicks it to Nell in the corner. Lindsay tried to field it with one hand, and now this looks a little bit more like sleepwalking for the Vikings. Early in the game, we got to restart it. Oh, you just had the horn in the middle of play. You gotta blow the whistle and re-inbound that. Meanwhile, they waste precious seconds for Ripon in the backcourt. Nice spin and finish by Bella Miller. I know it's not a big deal there, but if I'm Ripon, I'm saying you just blew the horn. Everyone stopped playing. They got a press on us, and Bumby's got a steal here. Allie Bumby into a passing lane. Stole the pass from Supernan, intended for Nell, and Miller's got back-to-back buckets. 4 straight for the Tigers, back to a 3-point game. And there's going to be wholesale changes on the Vikings bench. 4 players are going to come in as Coach Schroffnagel tries to liven something up here on either side of the floor, really. Lazy passes offensively, trying to field passes with one hand, just not good. Not a good span of about 4 possessions for the Vikings as Shea gets bumped from Nodolf and picks up another Ripon foul, their third of the team variety, first for Nodolf. So Kuski, Tyson, Cole, and Anna Trewin come into the game, and Kira Shea's the only one to remain out there. She did not leave the floor against Laconia. Not surprisingly. Bounce pass, dangerous one. Shea collects, shot fake there into Anna Trewin, kicks it out to Cole. Wants the second straightaway 3 of the night. Hits the back iron, hits the front iron, and it's rebounded by Ari Brooks. 9.5 minutes to play in this first half. 13-10 is the score. The Vikings are on a several-minute drought here offensively. They started out like a ball of fire, had 11 before you could blink, forcing a Ripon timeout. And since that time, it has been all Tigers. Here is Brooks, poked away, stolen by Tyson, near side with Kuski running the point. Now she's a 3-point specialist now. Kicks it out to Abby Cole. Cole drives the paint, Euro step through the contact, offensive rebound won't go. Another offensive rebound. And tied up, stays with the Vikings. Abby's had a good start here tonight. Couldn't get that one to fall on the right side. 13-10. And Cole's free underneath, lobbed in from Kuski. And they're going to blow the horn here again. Not sure what the confusion is. Ripon's coach was kind of looked like he was maybe questioning whether they had the arrow correct. It was. Ripon just got a jump ball a couple minutes ago. And the bounce pass into Cole this time on the far side. Cole gets to the middle of the paint, kicks it near side Shea. Kuski in the corner. Top of the key with Trewin. Fires a pass far side Tyson. Cole's got it once again. Shot fake there. Hands off to Siri Kuski. And the Vikings patient this time. Much better. This is Kuski as they survey around the perimeter. Can they get a paint touch here? That's the question. Shot fake for Cole. Cole drives the paint and bumped on the drive. Be the 4th team foul for Ripon. Madeline Weiss picks up the foul. 8.5 minutes to play first half. There's a big possession down the stretch against Laconia. That's tipped away. Man, Anna Trewin's got to go to that basketball. Poked away by Brooks and stolen. Kuski bounced it to her, and she's kind of moving backwards towards the corner. Oh, good hands, Leah Tyson. Takes it away from Brooks. Ends up with Shea. Shea with the bounce pass through to Kuski. Series got it. Middle of the paint. Hook shot no good. And the rebound on the near side, clearing this time from Bauman. She's straight into the front court as the struggles continue offensively for the Vikings. Come back to that possession I was referencing where the Vikings took off a minute of time against Laconia. Big play in the, well, big kind of spurt in that game on Friday night. First break of the night for Kira Shea as Evelyn Davies comes in. Lindsay Nell also checks back in, so 4 starters remain on the floor for the Vikings against the Tigers. Here's Bauman. Jab step, now down to Miller. Miller's been the best offensive player tonight for Ripon. That one, offensive rebound. Another offensive rebound, and Miller, no, it won't finish. Abby Cole taps around a defensive board, ends up with Evelyn Davies. The Vikings got to secure some boards. They are giving up too many second chance shots. That's missed from Abby Cole. Far side, this is Rost. Guarded by Leah Tyson. Lobs it over to Bumby. Bumby guarded by Cole. As Miller continues to work inside. She's been kind of a spark plug here for Ripon with her ability to get inside and finish at the rim. She's just got 4, but she's given the Vikings all sorts of issues. They're doubling down on her. Out for 3. This ball game's tied. Ari Brooks. 13-13. And the Vikings not playing very complimentary basketball right now. Down the lane goes Kuski, kicks it to the corner. Davies, top of the key with Cole. Abby goes down the left side. Count the basket. Oh, they're going to call an offensive foul. If they had a restricted circle, the Tigers would have been in it. That's not a good call. Well, it's a fine call for the way the rules are currently written, which is poor in the in the WIAA, where player safety is supposed to reign supreme but rarely does. I don't know if I'm going to get in. Maybe I just crossed the line. I don't know. Here's Bumby, like back-to-back, like playing Friday, Saturday in the playoffs. Riddle me how that is player safety. Here's Lindsay Nell, top of the key, Siri Kuski. Kuski drives the lane, up with the left hand, no good. Wild off the glass. Rebounded by Bumby, and she threw it straight to Leah Tyson. And Tyson gets it to go, so she at least stops the bleeding for now for the Vikings. But the lead is just 2. Coach Schroffnager wants a full timeout. We're going to take it with him. WLA TV, 15-13 lead. Coming out of the timeout here, the Vikings able to retake the lead. Ripon tied things up, not able to take the lead. By the way, I was incorrect on Friday as Bauman not able to collect that, and it goes out of bounds. Laconia did briefly lead on Friday night, but it was brief. 15-13, here's Shea. Goes around a Lindsay Nell screen, up with the right hand, no good. Rebound on the far side from Bumby, and she outlets it to Bauman. Down to the corner, this is Miller. Bella Miller, the Vikings into a zone defense, it looks like. Lob down, dangerous pass. Bumby collects and almost traveled. The coaching staff for the Vikings can't believe there was no whistle there. And they're going to get a foul on Abby Cole for boxing out. My goodness, we've had one referee that just wants the show tonight. Abby Cole is blocking out and getting pushed, as Coach Schroffnagel is saying, but that's the fourth team foul on the Vikings. Bauman, corner three, good. Carson Bauman's first points of the night. And Shea's into the front court for the Vikings, who trail for the first time here this evening. Abby Cole's got it between the circles. Lobs it down underneath Lindsay Nell. Nice move by Lindsay Nell, and Nell's got 6. Caught the ball at the high post, went down that right lane line and able to kind of step past a Ripon defender. Vikings lead once again, 17-16. Bounce pass to the corner and a travel there for Bauman. Just the feet moving quicker than the hands wanted to that time. And Evelyn Davies is going to make way for Leah Tyson to come back into the game. 4:37 to play first half. Far side, Siri Kuski trying to get the seal inside. There's Lindsay Nell, able to get the seal. Spins to the left, but she can't hit. Good defense inside by Ari Brooks. Down the lane. Offensive foul. Looked like Kuski might have been moving, but they get the offensive player control foul. That was on Bauman. I'm sorry, Bumby picked it up. I think they got the wrong number. I think that's what Ripon's coach is hollering about over there. I thought it was Bauman, but they whistled it on Bumby, and Abby Cole can't get it to go. Puts her hands on her head, and they're going to try to correct the case of mistaken identity here. No change. Wow. You can go back and check on that. Man, unless I just completely missed something. Seems like the Ripon coaches agree with me, though. Here is Leah Tyson. Shea. Hands off to Nell. Lindsay down the paint. Euro step through. Oh, that's beautiful. Lindsay Nell to the hoop on the right side. And the Viking lead is 3. And the Vikings going to try to trap there. Lobbed over to Miller. Back to Bauman, top of the key. Good ball fake down to Miller again. Miller, a little contact underneath. Kicks it out. Bauman, 3 on the way. A little bit strong. And Bumby's got another offensive rebound. And the Vikings able to take it away. No, Bumby's still got it. Timeout Ripon. See what they wanted for the Tigers on the far side. Now they're going to have another conversation with the bookkeeper. 30-second timeout. That is the second 30-second variety timeout for Ripon, so they will only have fulls to remain. And they're asking the bookkeeper if they, well, I'm not going to put words in their mouth. I've sat at the book table. Sometimes they do ask for another set of eyes, which is always valuable. You appreciate the effort to try to get it right, but the bookkeeper is also under no obligation to worry about that. 3:18 to go. Here is Bumby. Bumby down to the low post, kicks it out to Miller. Miller back to Bumby, good pass. Vikings able to recover. Just for a moment there, Bumby had an opportunity underneath. Here is Miller, back to Bumby. Bumby working against Cole, up with the left hand. Oh, how does that not go? Great move by Allie Bumby, but it would not fall for the senior. Here is Nell. near side. Shea wants her first attempt of 3. Comes up strong and tapped around. Nice rebound by Bauman on the far side, working against Abby Cole. Bauman into the front court. Spins past Shea. Over to Brooks. Brooks down to Bumby. The Vikes want to trap there. They got a good opportunity to. And dribbled out by Bumby. Nodoff to the middle of the paint. And that pass is too strong. Kept in by the referee, but still able to bound out a play for the Vikings. Very disjointed first half. Very kind of ugly at times. And that's probably the pace and the style of game that Ripon wanted. They can just kind of muck it up a little bit. Maybe challenge these Vikings a little bit. Here's Abby Cole, middle of the paint, spins, and a travel. Abby is pressing a little bit underneath. 2 minutes left here in the first half. Nodolf comes into the front court. That's not a place you necessarily want to stop. Down to Brooks. Brooks is bumped. That was on the floor. And underneath inbounds is coming with the 5th Viking team foul. Coach Schroffnagel looked like he was asking for a hook there. Nice take by Bauman. Oh, shuffled it to Brooks, and it just was a little too hot for Ari Brooks to handle. And chance for the Vikings to try to build on this 19-16 lead, which has been easier said than done here in this first half. Abby Cole has it. This is Shea. Vikings have not been able to, when they've had success, they've penetrated in the paint. Otherwise, they've just settled for the passing around the perimeter. Siri Kuski right on cue for the Vikings. Catches underneath, and her first points of the night on a feed from Abby Cole. So the Vikings lead it by 5. Largest lead was 8. It was 11-3 at one point in that early first half. Abby's got it here, poked out from behind, should stay with the Vikings, and it will. Bryn Carlson returns for the Tigers. Comes in for Carson Bauman. Siri Kuski is tasked with triggering this in. Gets it to Kira Shea. 1 minute to play in the first half. Kira's got it, drives the paint, down to Kuski. Siri, good you can be patient here if you're the Vikings. If you run a minute off the clock here, you go into the half no worse than up by 5. Instead, the Vikings turn it over. And now Ripon, if they want to, can try to chip into it with 1 possession. We'll see what they decide to do working against this Viking zone. And a travel as Carlson drug the pivot foot. And Coach Schroffnagel just relays that information to Kira Shea. Get in the front court there, though. That wasn't the shortest. wasn't the slowest backcourt count you'll ever get. 18 seconds left. Vikings want 1. They're going to double screen for Shea. Both Cole and Nell at the top of the key. Shea's going to run her defender off a double screen. Will they get a pick and a pop? Here goes Shea down in the lane, all the way to the rim. Kiera Shea, you betcha. She's got 6. Well, the Vikings, that was not their best half of basketball by any stretch of the imagination, but somehow able to carve out a 7-point lead when everything was all said and done here at halftime. It was a little bit of a sleepwalking effort at times in the first half, but the Vikes got things sorted out down the stretch. Everything looks a little bit better for the Vikings when they're able to get paint touches and work that ball inside, drive the paint, that type of stuff for the Vikes. Halftime here, Vikes lead at 23-16, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes to give you some halftime numbers. In the meantime, throw it over to the public address to announce this year's Junior Vikings squads and their coach.
Tonight we welcome our Junior Vikings girls basketball team to WLA. The Junior Vikings basketball program began 27 years ago and gives a unique opportunity for many of our future Vikings and their families to create lifelong Christian friendships while developing their basketball skills on the court. Each team travels throughout the state of Wisconsin competing in higher level tournaments through the basketball season. This year we have over 50 girls from many different WLA Association grade schools involved in our program. Let's meet our hardworking future Vikings. The 4th grade team, coached by Dania Wicker. The 5th grade team, coached by Jacob Belt and Dana Faust. The 6th grade team, coached by James Supernand and Jenny Metzger. And the 7th grade team, coached by Josh McCauley, Jessica Rich, and Jesse Wild. Thank you very much, coaches, for putting your time and effort into these young ladies. Good luck to each of your teams throughout your season. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you, Junior Vikings.
There you go. That's good stuff. Junior Vikes night here at the Academy, and very, very important. And a nice opportunity for these kids that come from different grade schools to kind of make that high school transition a little easier, in my opinion. Is you get to meet some of your peers that are from different grade schools that you'll get to go to high school with. All good stuff. And hopefully having a good, successful season. Give a shout out here to Coach Supernand. John Supernand is the assistant varsity head, one of the assistant varsity head coaches. Coaches the JVs and heads up the entire Junior Vikes program, boys and girls. And no longer has anyone benefiting from that. His daughter Addie is a freshman at WLA, you see during the JV games. And I don't, obviously it goes without saying the tireless, thankless work of Coach Supernand and what he does for both the boys and girls program at kind of a grassroots level is very, very important. And tip of the hat to him for that. Give you some scoring there from the first half. The Vikings lead at 23-16. Ripon was kept in it a little bit by the three-point shot. Well, kind of a lot of it by the three-point shot. They got triples from Ari Brooks, Allie Bumby, Ellie Rost, and Carson Bauman. They have hit 4 threes. That accounts for 12 of their 16 points. Their other 4 coming from Bella Miller in that first half. For the Vikings, 2 points from Siri Kuski, 2 points from Leah Tyson, 5 for Abby Cole, 6 for Kira Shea, and Lindsay Nell had 8 there in that first half. Lindsay, last 2 games, 22 and 28, and then tonight, so far 8. Well on her way to a season average 16 and change. 4 minutes, we'll have the second half. Hope you'll stay with us, WLA TV. Back here for the second half of action. WLA TV, glad to have you along. Sorry I'm a little late getting back. First possession for Ripon comes up a little bit short on the layup, and WLA has their first possession here of the second half. Kira Shea down the lane and down to left corner. Here's Leah Tyson. Tyson and the Vikings, as I mentioned, is they get the ball to the hoop, get the ball in the paint. They are a much more efficient offense. Here's Lindsay Nell from the corner. Yes, sir. Lindsay Nell, her first 3 of the night, and she has 11. The Vikes lead is at its biggest tonight with 10. Talking to Clint Knipple during the halftime intermission, and one of the assistant coaches down at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Here's a 3 on the other end and a response from Rost. Ellie Rost has 6. She's hit 2 threes. And just talking about the season that the Warriors are having this year, and he's been in attendance here for a lot of WLA games. Obviously, a lot of talent on this WLA girls basketball team to maybe see at a Division III level. I hope all these girls are interested in playing after. We've talked to Kira, and earlier in the season, during that interview, she said she's maybe interested in a school like WLC or perhaps Marion or something along those lines. Obviously, Kira is tremendous. And at 5'4", that's just the lot in life. Probably not going to get many huge looks. Here's Abby Cole. First trip to the line for Abby, and she hits the first. But that was a fun conversation there with Coach Knipple. Second free throw for Abby Cole is good. Maybe you've heard of Con Knipple. If you haven't, where you been? One of the better prospects in the state. Just hit his 1,000th point for Wisconsin Lutheran High School down in Milwaukee. There's a take from Miller. Count the basket and the foul. She spun down the lane against Kuski, drew the contact, and finished. Bella Miller will go to the line. First trip to the line for the Tigers here tonight. And first on Siri Kuski, Bella Miller finishes the three-point play. She's got 7. She is the only Tiger that has scored 2-point baskets tonight. Con Knipple earlier this weekend, or maybe last weekend, as Leah Tyson gets the basketball stolen, had 33 in a double digits loss to a very good Pewaukee team. And Pewaukee and Wisco always play in like a sectional game, which if this was a let's just bash the WIAA podcast, we could talk about that. I'm not going to do that because there's so many different, there is so many different things. There's ways you can improve, but I understand the red tape that goes along with it. So this is not a complaint. You wish you could have those teams playing down at the Kohl Center, But there is so many different things that get in the way of that happening. 15:30 left as the ball went out of play last time out the end line, and they actually whistled a foul on Ripon. Here's Lindsay Nell scooping up and fouled at the rim. She'll go to the free throw line for her second trip to the line. She's 2 for 2. Vikes are 4 for 4 tonight. But WLC women are 12 and 2 in the conference. Lindsay misses her first free throw of the night here. She is 2 for 3 now. Second one for Lindsay is good. Lindsay is I almost think it's an instinctual type of free throw shot. What I mean by that is she does not have like a routine. Well, she does have a routine. All good free throw shooters do, and Lindsay is a good free throw shooter, especially down the last couple of games, excuse me. Miller couldn't get that to go. Abby Cole on the far side with the rebound. Lindsay's is just, what I mean by instinctual is she gets the ball from the referee, takes one dribble and almost straight into her jump. It's almost like a jump shot. It's almost like a rhythm jumper for her. And, hey, whatever works for you. If I did that, I'd airball it. As Allie Bumby gets into the scoring act, she has 5 here tonight. And the lead for the Vikings is 5. But, there are some shooters who need the 5 bounces and got to stare at the rim for 15 seconds like Giannis does and all that good stuff. But Lindsay is all business at the free throw line, and it works for her. 10 for 12 the other night. And she's 3 for 4 so far this evening. And she's got it here in the corner. Vikes with a 5-point lead. Abby Cole is wide open from the left wing. Can't get it to go from 3. Tonight is not the breakout night from 3 for Abby. Here is Bella Miller. Spins. Down to Bumby. That jumper is a little bit strong. Rebound was dribbled off of the foot of a Ripon player by Shea, but collected by Nell. Lindsay's got it down to the corner. Kira, top of the key. Kuski surveys and finds Leah Tyson. Nell, long 3, buried it. Lindsay Nell has 15 points this evening. And another big night for Lindsay, who is in the midst of a hot shooting spree, getting to the rim, shooting well from the line. Very, very efficient lately. And that is good news for the Vikings. Overplayed there, and Miller gets past her for the layup. So Miller's up to 9 points. Lindsay almost got a hand on that. She probably would have scored in transition again had she completed the steal. Here's Leah Tyson. Tyson into the middle of the paint, kicks it over. Lindsay now. Now looking into Kuski, has to shovel it to Abby Cole. Cole drives the paint, crosses over, spins, and finishes with the left. I promise I'm not lying. Abby Cole is right-handed. Kira steals the inbounds pass, and it's a quick 4 for the Vikings. The lead is back to 10. That is what Kira Shea brings to the table. She's guarding Bauman now. That's lobbed in. Stolen by Abby Cole. It was Lindsay Nell who got the deflection. Abby with the steal. She's running point. Kicks it out. Big 3 on the way, and it's hit. Straight through for Lindsay Nell. She's got 18 points. The Vikings have a 13-point lead. Forces a Ripon timeout. It's the biggest lead of the night for the Vikes. That is a stretch right there, about 30 seconds, and 7 points for the Vikings leads to a full timeout for the Tigers. And with 12:34 remaining, Vikes in a little bit more control than they were before. Timeout on the way. We're going to take it with them, come back with more WLA TV. Stay with us. Back here on WLA TV, I consulted one of the foremost experts on high school basketball officiating, and I won't name him because I don't know if he wants to be named, but he agrees with me. He is an official, and he agrees with me that the restricted circle should exist in high school basketball. So there you go. I'm going to start the the campaign has been here for a long time to get a restricted circle, but I can't imagine whatever it is, 8 to 10 feet of a painted line would be that big of a deal in terms of budgetary restrictions. I understand that from like a shot clock perspective, which also needs to be implemented in the state of Wisconsin, but we'll understanding that baby steps are where we're at here. So down to the corner with Rost. 3 on the way, and that misses. And another foul on Abby Cole. And it just looks like a box out. I think Coach Schraffnagel is done fighting that. It's the same official that does not like the act of boxing out. And I think Coach Schraffnagel is kind of exhausted that line of thinking there. Allie Bumby takes advantage of it. And it's down to a 9-point game once again. This is Kira Shea, hands off to Lindsay Nell. Lindsay's got it. Oh, beautiful move to the hoop. And they call a travel. Lindsay with a Euro step. And the Viking coaching staff cannot believe it. Lindsay can't believe it. No one can believe it because it wasn't a travel. I don't know what else to say. I'm not complaining. I'm just, like, it looks like a travel. Lindsay's 6 feet tall. When people have long legs, I understand that maybe it looks like a travel, but it's not. The Euro step has passed some people by. Here's a shot fake from Bumby. Kicked it out, top of the key. Down the lane to the corner, and Miller with a bounce pass to Bumby, who saves it here in the right corner. Guarded by Nell. Lobs the pass to Carlson. Carlson in the middle of the paint. That is what Lindsay Nell just did, which is not a travel, but it was on the other end. Here is Kiera Shea. 3-ball on the way. Yes, sir. Kiera Shea is into the double figures. She's got 11. Her first 3 of the night. She had to be patient, but the Vikings have now matched the Tigers in 3-pointers with 5. Carlson's got it. Between the circles, Miller. Miller goes off of the screen from Bumby. Now shovels to Bumby. Fakes it from the free throw line. Back near side down to the corner with Miller. Miller, they're trying to get the ball into Bumby at the high post. There she is. Down to the corner. 3 on the way. That's a little bit strong. Offensive rebound again. These Tigers are ferocious on the offensive glass. The Vikings have really struggled to contain Ripon on the boards, and it's kept Ripon in this game. Now the Vikes have a 14-point lead, but I'd be interested how many second chance points the Tigers have. Foul on Audrey Schumacher. And underneath it'll be Carlson. And one referee is pulling. They're going to let. I think the clock operator is done blowing the horn because the last 3 times he's done it, we've just played on. So here is Bauman. Euro step through the paint, shovels it near side Brooks. Back to Bauman, guarded by Shea. Flashing through is Miller. Had her for a second, but a good job to recover by Siri Kuski. Excuse me. Miller has Brooks to use the screen if she wishes. Instead goes back to the right. Bauman top of the key. Near side with Carlson. Bryn Carlson going to drive the lane. And a foul on Avery Supernand. Bumped her to the ground. 5th team foul for the Vikes. 2nd on Avery. And the Vikings have upped the physicality just a little bit, and Ripon is getting some good positions underneath. Nell fouls Miller that time, and Bella Miller will build on a 9-point performance here. She's 1 for 1 from the free throw line. And stays perfect there. The first Tiger into double figures is the senior Bella Miller. On the season, Miller averages 7.4 points per game, misses that free throw. The 3rd leading scorer on the team for Ripon. Here goes Shea down the paint, and nice defense that time from Carlson. Goes straight up and down and just affect the shot for Kiera Shea. Down underneath the other side, there's Bauman, and the rebound is cleared by Lindsay Nell. Defense was well done by Kiera Shea. Here's Nell. Caught with it, kicks it out to Shea. Near side, good ball movement. Ends up with Avery Supernand down middle of the paint. There's that floater. Yes, sir. Avery Supernand with the floater, middle of the paint. I almost said you betcha. I got to get that out of my vocabulary. I'm going to be known as the you betcha guy. That's already been done. I got to be original, more original than that. Ripon throws the basketball away. And the Viking 15-point lead with the chance to build on it with this possession. You bet isn't as bad as you betcha. Here's Shea. Schumacher has Cole at the high post. That's where the Vikes are trying to get it. Now here is Abby. Double down and a foul. Adeline Nodolf, excuse me. I knew Nodolf was going to give me all sorts of issues tonight, and it certainly has. Bounce pass from Kuski to Shea. Shea's got it in the corner, uses an L screen, shovels to Schumacher. Ooh, Audrey got away with the travel there, and Ripon can't believe it. Kind of stopped the. It was kind of so slow that it didn't look like a travel. Viking coaches wanted a jump there, and they get Schumacher with a foul. And Coach Schroffnagel says, don't worry about that, Audrey. It was a jump ball. That doesn't change the fact that Ripon's going to head to the free throw line as the Vikings have accumulated 7 team fouls in the first half, the first half of the second half. First free throw hits the back iron, deadens out, and just falls in for Addie Nodolf. And she'll get a second one. Second free throw is good as well. So 4 for 5 from the line tonight for the Tigers. Here's Shea. Goes around an Abby Cole screen, looks to Lindsay Nell. Nell has got 18 points. Down the lane goes Siri Kuski, and a foul. Here's Lindsay Nell. Shea off of a screen from Kuski. Gets free, rattles around and out for Kira Shea. Shea's stuck on 11, has been for a little while here. Not her best offensive night, but she's working very hard on the defensive side against a Carson Bauman who is much larger than her inside. Got a huge height advantage. Ripon doesn't list their heights on their program, but Shea is 5'4", and Bauman's got to be all of, well, what do they list Lindsay now? What do they list Abby Cole? They list Cole at 5'11", and Bauman would easily be able to match up with Abby Cole. Abby's working inside here. Instead it goes to Lindsay Nell. Nell has it on the runner, no good. Tapped around and last off of Ripon. Stays with the Vikes. 44-31, 7:36 to play. Vikings going to go 4 wide on this inbounds play and try to screen for Lindsay now. And they're going to stop it here. I believe the Ripon player guarding Kuski on the inbounds reached across the line, so stopped it there. And the Vikes run the same play and miscommunication, but it ends up with Lindsay now. Nell's got it now on the right side, dribbles down the paint, and a foul there. Foul is on Erie Brooks, her third, and that will prompt Bella Miller to return to the floor as Coach Nodolf brings back his leading scorer this evening. Vikings screen for Cole, instead goes to Nell. Lindsay gets to the mid-range jumper, no good, tapped by Abby Cole, but a good rebound by Bryn Carlson. Bryn's into the front court for the Tigers, hands off. This is Nodolf, bounces down to the high post with Bumby. And Allie Bumby looks back far side, and they'll reinitiate an offense here for the Tigers. Nodolf tapped away by Nell into the backcourt for Miller. Perfectly fine there. It was tapped by Lindsay. Steal. Shea's into the passing lane and like a bullet up the floor, and Kira Shea has 13. I mean, come on. That is a cheat code. That is when you played Madden as a kid and you turned all the AI for the opponent to 0 speed and your guys to 99 speed, and you ran away from them. Here's Bryn Carlson with a mid-range jumper that's good. But Kira Shea is a cheat code, man. Those things were, you and your buddies made a pact that you didn't do that kind of stuff. Here is Abby Cole. Far side with Lindsay Nell. Down to the corner with Audrey Schumacher. Good cut by Siri Kuski, but Schumacher kind of fumbled the pass, so she couldn't find her. Here's Nell. Comes up short. Offensive rebound, Abby Cole, and she's fouled. It'll stay with the Vikings. In fact, the Tigers have now collected their 7th team foul, so that will send Abby Cole to the free throw line, where she is 2 for 2. Rest of the week here on WLA TV. Tomorrow, the boys host Mayville. Addison Middlestat, one of the more exciting players in terms of scoring that you can see in the area. A lot of talent on that Mayville team. They've been kind of just skating by a lot of times here in this flyaway season. Abby makes both, goes 4 for 4. And then on Thursday, Amro makes the return trip here with 2 top 5 scorers in the conference, Ava Stachura and I always gonna get this second name wrong here. Julia Cook, both top 5 players in terms of scoring in the conference. They're gonna get a foul here in transition. Yeah, and Coach Nodolf can't believe it. Hands on the head for him. And they're going to say it was on the pass, so Lindsay Nell to the free throw line where she is 3 for 4. And that's what I'm talking about, just a very instinctual shot. One dribble, almost like stepping into a rhythm jumper. And why would you do anything different right now? She's 5 for 6 from the line. The Vikings are 9 for 10 from the line. And let me tell you what, I got conned into making the free throw shooting desserts this weekend, so I tried my hands at chocolate chip cookies, and if the girls keep shooting this well, they deserve something better than that. Bumby underneath, able to finish for the Tigers. She's got 9 points. Nice night for Allie Bumby. And Lindsay Nell's now got it on the right wing. Skip pass from Siri Kuski to Kira Shea, and Shea drug the pivot foot. 15-point lead for the Vikings, 5:16 to play. Vikes do get a couple of days off, so not necessarily where you need to get your starters a ton of minutes off of the floor because you get the 2 days between. Not like the back-to-back Friday, Saturday of a regional semifinal and a regional final. Bounce down underneath. Here goes Bumby again. Up and under move. And with the left hand, hits good. Allie Bumby's got 11. She now is the leading scorer for the Tigers on the night. She's had a very good evening, as has Bella Miller. Here's Shea. Top of the key with Nell. Fires it to the corner. Saved by Kuski. Siri's going to go around all the way down. It opens up for Siri Kuski. Good patience by Siri. And some good persistence down that right side lane line. And she finishes at the rim with the layup. Here goes Nodolf. Bounce pass kicked by Lindsay Nell. Stays with the Tigers. 4:23 to play. Since the Vikings picked up their 7th team foul, about 4 minutes have gone by, and they have not picked up their next. Since Ripon's gotten into the bonus, the Vikings have done a nice job to not foul. Here is Bumby, which means you know that there is a whistle coming right here. So one of the Vikings is just going to hammer someone and create a foul. Here goes Bumby. Can't get it to go. And the rebound, good block out by Abby Cole, who's averaging 13 rebounds per contest. Shea bounces. She had 19 rebounds, check that, on Friday night. 19 rebounds as Kuski leaves that short, and Bumby gets the board for Ripon. And she's going to go coast to coast, left hand, you betcha. Oh, what a move. Allie Bumby up with the left hand. 13 points for the senior. The 2 senior starters tonight are carrying the Tigers. 10. And there's an offensive foul. Lindsay Nell can't believe it. Coach Schroffnagel can't believe it. I'll just stop. Not even close. 8th team foul for the Vikings, but as a player control foul, there are no free throws shot. just saying, until you get that restricted circle in, you're going to have more injuries in high school basketball. Players are going to camp underneath the hoop, and someone's going to go up for a shot, land on somebody, and turn an ankle, tear up a knee. It's coming. And it's unfortunate because painting on an extra line is not that difficult. Here's a 3-ball from the corner. And it's one extra rule for referees, and it clears up the rules for referees. I think referees would really enjoy that. Here goes Lindsay Nell down the paint. And Bumby is judged to have fouled Lindsay Nell that time, where Nell will go back to the free throw line. I don't know if the circle would have helped that time on the charge call. Oh, they're going to say that was on the floor. So bonus free throws for Lindsay now. Not that it matters for Lindsay. She's very comfortable making everything she shoots. Second free throw comes up short. Lindsay, you can blame me for that one. 14-point lead for the Vikings, 53-39. Nodolf drives baseline against Leah Tyson. Leah's had a really nice night defensively. She always does. Down underneath, this is Brooks. Kicks it out to Bauman. Back down to Brooks. Into Bumby. Working against Cole. High off the glass. She tips the offensive rebound out to Bauman. 3 on the way, and good. Carson Bauman, and another offensive rebound turns into 3 for Ripon. The lead for the Vikings is 11 with 2:20 to play. Top of the key, Lindsay Nell thought about it. Back down to the corner with Kira. And a timeout for the Vikings. Coach Schroffnagel wants to talk about it with 2:13 to play and maybe just tell his team to maybe be a little patient here with the last couple of minutes on the way. Full timeout, back after this. Back out of the timeout, Ripon going to put in. Ripon cleared the bench, and so we'll see if Coach Schroffnagel does the same here. I would expect that he'll throw his 5 in, as it looks like Ripon's kind of waving the white flag, so to speak. Got Reese Brooks into the ball game. Elizabeth Gatsky, I believe, she's out there. Bryn Carlson, Reese Downs, Madeline Weiss. And Bauman's going to come back in. Oh, and the starters are back in for Ripon. Coach Schroffnagel was just at the end of his bench putting his players. Coach Schroffnagel was just putting his bench players back in. And Coach Nodolf went down and grabbed his starters again. And he doesn't even want the full timeout. That was just to get the starters back onto the floor. So Coach Schroffnagel was ready to put in his next 5. And the miscommunication. So the Vikings leave their starters out there with just an 11-point lead. Ball's on the floor. Ends up with Abby Cole, tied up, goes back to the Vikings on the possession arrow. Abby's got a look on her face like, man, getting physical in there. And Ripon's going to employ the full court press now, a 1-2-2 look, kind of, ish. 1-2-1-1 maybe. Kira Shea has it. Lindsay Nell near side. Lindsay, and the fouling is kind of a unique last minute here. And Lindsay Nell. And now Coach Nodolf is going to put, well, Coach Nodolf's going to put his 5 that he had in back in. Coach Schroffnagel is going to put his 5 back in, at least if Lindsay can hit this free throw. She is 6 for 9 tonight, is Lindsay. And this one cozies its way down for Lindsay. So that should be the end of her night. I got Lindsay for 22 again tonight, which would make her last 3 outings 22, 28, 22. Very, very efficient. And a lot of production coming from the line. She shoots 70% from the line again here tonight after going 10 for 12 on Friday. And down underneath, Madeline Weiss able to finish at the rim. So all 3 seniors have scored now tonight for the Tigers. Here's Avery Supernand. Goes off a screen, down to the corner. Audrey Schumacher. Oh, rattles around and out. Offensive rebound, McKenna Conkey. She's caught underneath. And they'll whistle a foul on Weiss. So McKenna Conkey to the free throw line to shoot 2. First one curls around and out. Vikings were, second free throw is good. Vikings were 11 of 14, now 12 of 16 from the line. Another good shooting night for the Vikings from the charity stripe. And under 30 seconds to play. This is Gatsky. 3 ball on the way. This comes up a little bit strong for Reese Brooks. And another offensive rebound. Well, the rebounding numbers are not going to look good for the Vikings here tonight. And to the free throw line goes Bryn Carlson, as she was the last to get an offensive board. Couple of dribbles, a spin off of the hand, and the first free throw is pure. Very good free throw shooting on both sides tonight. Bryn Carlson makes that one, and the Tigers are now 5 for 6 from the line. Make it 6 for 7. Carlson 2 for 2, Miller 2 for 3, and Nodolf 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Here's Audrey Schumacher. Avery Supernand is going to dribble it out to the Viking logo, hand the ball to the referee, and that's going to do things. A 9-point win for the Vikings tonight. Just take care of business. Just got to get the wins from here on out for the Vikings and take care of business, especially when it comes to conference. But the games against quality conference opponents quality non-conference opponents and beating teams like Ripon is also a big deal for the Vikes as we head down the stretch here. 55-46 is the final score. Let's give you some final numbers for tonight's game. Bryn Carlson scored 4, 3 for Ari Brooks, excuse me. Allie Bumby led the Tigers. She had 13 points, 10 for Bella Miller, 2 for Adeline Nodolf, 6 for Ellie Rost, and 6 for Carson Bauman. Maddie Weiss finished off the scoring with 2. For the Vikings, 2 points for Avery Supernand, 1 point for McKenna Conkey, 2 for Leah Tyson, 4 for Siri Kuski. Abby Cole, let's see here, 2-4, had 11. Abby did get into double figures after all. Lindsay had 22, and Kira Shea had 13. 13 for Shea, 22 Nell. 13 for Cole, a couple for Leah Tyson, 1 for McKenna Conkey, a couple for Avery Supernan, 4 for Siri Kuski. That is the scoring for this evening's contest. We're going to say so long. Come back with you tomorrow. Hope you'll join us here on WLA TV. It'll be the Vikings boys team against Mayville. Mayville is 7-2 on the conference season. The Vikes need as many wins down the stretch as they can get here as they look to better their postseason seeding position and give themselves a good shot, as good a shot as they can have when the playoffs come. Vikes win here by 9, and the Vikings girls team now 17-3 on the season. Before we say so long, I just want to pass along congratulations. Kept this under wraps until now. Tonight was win number 100 in the career of Coach Eric Schroffnagel. Not whoever Mike Schroffnagel is. Sounds like a made-up name. Eric Schroffnagel, 100 wins. He is 136. 136. That's one nice winning percentage for Coach Schroffnagel. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to the Vikings. They are now 17-3 on the season. Jordan King saying so long. Thanks for joining us. Back with more tomorrow night. We have boys basketball, and you'll see it here on WLA TV.